everybody, it's Emily at Homeschooling, and welcome back to another episode of Homeschool Tidbits. Welcome to Build Your Library's Homeschool Tidbits. Today we're doing episode 52, and we're going to be talking about tips for homeschooling as a working parent. In this weekly video series, I will delve briefly into a topic related to homeschooling, and I'll share some of my knowledge and expertise as a longtime homeschooling mother of 4 children, 3 of whom who have graduated and 1 who is a college graduate. I'm outside today because it's beautiful out, so if there's a lot of background bird chatter, we can live with that. So, when parents make the decision to homeschool, often one parent will quit working to stay at home and take on the task of educating the children. But for many parents, that just isn't possible. Maybe they can't afford to lose an income, or maybe the parents both work in fields that they're truly passionate about and don't want to have to quit their job. If you can learn to be flexible, then you can definitely make homeschooling and working full-time work. I work from home, running my own business, and I've done so for going on 11 years now. I do many things. I homeschool my children, of course, but I also write lesson plans, I make videos, I curate a used bookstore, among many things. To say I wear many hats is an understatement, perhaps. I'm going to share some tips today and give you some advice as to how you can make it all work. So if you're considering homeschooling while working a full-time job, I hope I can make it sound doable. My first tip is to have a solid routine. First and foremost, you need to figure out a routine that works for you and your family and stick to it like glue. This will look different for everyone, and I have talked before about routine and how to make that work in your homeschool, and I will link that somewhere up here. But routines are essential to getting everything done. We homeschool in the morning. I try to get our day started between 8 and 8:30 every day. Starting late will throw my afternoon out of whack, so I try really hard to stick to that time frame. I also try to get anything we need to do together done by noon. My daughter then has independent schoolwork assignments to complete in the afternoon. My workday then begins around 1 p.m. and I work the whole afternoon and into the evening. Your schedule might be the complete opposite of mine. Maybe you need to do your work in the morning and then you homeschool in the late afternoon and evening. It doesn't really matter so much how you structure your day, but you need that structure to ensure that you can get all of the things that you need to do done. Being organized is key. My next tip is to delegate. I know they say you can have it all, but honestly, that is just a lot of responsibility. I can't reasonably homeschool, work, meal plan, grocery shop, cook, and keep a clean house. I can do 2 of those things well. 3 of them, okay. But at some point, my house of cards will topple. This is why it is absolutely crucial to delegate. As soon as your children are old enough to help out around the house, start assigning chores. They will not be done perfectly, but they will be done. Perhaps your spouse can do groceries or even cook. Maybe you can find the money to hire someone to clean your house. Look for ways to reduce your workload so that you can focus on homeschooling. In our house, my kids help out with the housework, and my husband meal plans and grocery shops and cooks. He also does the laundry and drives everyone everywhere and does yard work, and he even helps me run Build Your Library, so he's definitely a keeper. You need those support systems in place to be able to manage your household while you're working and homeschooling. And of course, you want to consider delegating some of that homeschooling load as well. Maybe your spouse can help out with that here and there too, or a grandparent who wants to spend more time with the children. Or maybe you can look into online classes or local co-ops. Homeschooling will look different for every family, so figure out what works best for you and your work schedule. Next is building independence. I've talked about this before as well, but if you are going to be able to work while homeschooling, you're gonna need your child to get some of their work done independently. Homeschooling does not mean that you need to be sitting side by side with your child their entire school day. As soon as they're reading well, you can start assigning independent reading to them. Then you can add in some workbook assignments or online classes or other tasks that they can manage on their own while you are working. Around the age of 10 or so, you can start giving them a checklist of assignments that need to be done each day. And then they can just work down that list. Some of those things will be things that you do together, and some will be things that they do independently. This will not only give you time to work and clean or even just take a break, but it will help your child build their confidence. My next tip is to lower your expectations. When you're homeschooling and working at the same time, you're going to need to let go of some things. Your house is probably going to be a little bit messy at times. Your kids might not clean the kitchen to your standards. The laundry pile might reach Mount Everest proportions. The goal is that you make time for the most important things first. It will likely be that homeschooling and your job is at the top of that list. When you have time, you can eventually chip away at that laundry pile and maybe even vacuum. You can homeschool and work at the same time if you're okay with keeping your house reasonably clean and following a schedule that gives you enough time to do both. And finally, keep it simple. It's easy to get overwhelmed when you're homeschooling and working a full-time job. Homeschooling on its own is a massive undertaking, so when you add in full-time work to the mix, it gets hard. So streamline wherever you can. Find a curriculum that covers many bases so you aren't juggling 10 different programs. You might want to check out Build Your Library, for example. Look for online classes to teach the coursework that you're less confident teaching, like science or math. If you're homeschooling multiple children, consider family-style learning, where you combine all your children together in content subjects like history and science while teaching individually for math and language arts. This will streamline your day so you aren't running back and forth, juggling so many subjects amongst all your children. So when the days get hard and you want to throw in the towel, try to take a minute and reflect on why you chose this lifestyle in the first place. Look for a community, whether in person or online, of like-minded homeschooling families that you can talk to and vent, who will understand what you're going through. And above all, remember, there is no one right way to homeschool. Find what works for your family and stick to it. If you found this video helpful, I hope that you'll check out Build Your Library curriculum. Build Your Library is a secular, literature-rich homeschool curriculum inspired by Charlotte Mason's philosophy of education. Based on nearly 20 years of homeschooling, I created the curriculum that I wished I'd had when I first started homeschooling. I have spent thousands of hours cultivating the best literature to enhance your children's studies. Our lesson plans make homeschooling simple. Just open them up, gather your books, and go. Our easy-to-use lesson plans include everything you need to homeschool. Just add math. Choose from our full-year K-12 levels, as well as fun topical unit studies, and our newest product, Lit Bites. With Build Your Library, you will cultivate a home library filled with captivating literature, and you'll raise children who become lifelong learners. So snuggle up with our lesson plans and a good book or three and have your best homeschool year ever. I hope you found this tidbit to be helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to come back next week for more homeschooling inspiration. Until then, happy reading. Bye!